Okay, so we're setting off for our week-long road trip down to Lviv. We're going to take it slow and make lots of stops on the ways. We're about to set off, we're taking an Uber to get to the rental car place, and then we're going to get our rental car and drive generally eastward. And we're taking a different route there and a different route back, and we're going to spend 2 days in Lviv looking at houses and apartments and whatnot, and see if we can get to the bottom of this whole real estate business. But we're going to be working while we're gone. Natalia's got some classes she's going to be doing online, and I might have a couple of conversation clubs that I'm running, so we'll see how that all goes. But it's an exciting road trip, and we're definitely glad to be getting out of the apartment for a while and glad that our quarantine is over. But we're still social distancing, still wearing masks, still going to be careful. I'm not too worried about it, about the corona in the villages, because there's just not a lot of throughput in the villages. There's not a lot of people to get exposed to it, but we're going to be careful about it anyway. And wish us luck. And subscribe, hit like. Every little bit helps me, and we really appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, so we're about an hour and a half outside of Kiev, and we finally made it to what's it called, baby? Karavstish. Yes, that one. It's an old quarry and granite quarry, and there's a bunch of the granite industry right up the hill from us. I think that might still be operating too. Maybe we'll come back and get some countertops at some point. But this is just a really large crater lake. There's Natalia. And it's actually the second one we've been to. We got some pictures of the other one that I probably played already before I started this video. We made it to the Rocket Museum of Korolev, who was a Ukrainian rocket engineer working the Soviet space program. And we got here a few minutes before they opened, so we went for a quick tour of the kind of informal marketplace they have. And I, of course, forgot to take any pictures, but there are plenty of those all throughout Ukraine. It's where the majority of Ukrainians do the majority of their shopping for clothes and shoes and caps and $2 sunglasses. And we were full up, didn't need to get anything, and we got about 5 minutes before the museum opens. Okay, so we made it into the Cosmonauts Museum, and the tickets were about $1.50 each, and then I had to pay an additional $4 for permission to take videos and pictures in the museum. And what I'm standing in front of here is the Venera 7 lander. This is a model, or one of the test models of the lander that actually landed on Venus back in the 70s and took the only pictures that we have yet of the surface of Venus. So here we have Luna 1, which did a close flyby of the moon in 1959. 10 years before Apollo, and it came within less than 6,000 kilometers of the moon's surface. And it then went on, the actual Luna 1 then went on to enter a heliocentric orbit and fall into the sun's orbit. Here we have Luna 9, was it 9? Yes. Luna 9, which was the first craft to do a soft landing on the moon a couple years before Apollo did. It landed and operated for about 75 minutes before shutting off. Here we have a full-size model of Lunokhod 2, which landed on the moon and traveled over 35 kilometers, doing lots of scientific research while it was there. It landed in 1973, so after the Apollo missions, but it covered a remarkable amount of territory, and this is a pretty big vehicle, especially for one that's solar powered. On the ceiling behind me, you can see the Soyuz, a model of the Soyuz space station that was used, what was it, the 80s, maybe early 90s? So included in the tour of the museum is a little house across the street where Korolev lived when he was little. And so this is going to be like early 1900s. I'm guessing that was probably an oil lamp at one point. I think it's electrical now. Okay, so we made it to the fun little city of Zhytomyr. We visited the Cosmonaut Museum, and we couldn't find the sock factory. So now we are going to explore the shopping possibilities and eating possibilities on the main square. Okay, so now we're on the main plaza, and you can see all around me. I mean, this feels like a really, Western European little town, but here we are, just, 150 kilometers from Kiev, and we come out walking here. We got a beautiful little fountain on the main square, and, oh, there it is. There's Ukraine. There it is over in the corner. Always under construction. But this is a really charming little place. You've got some we got some Boy Scouts out here, and a fountain and a beer garden behind me. This is such a great little place, and it's a real gem. I'm glad we found it. We're gonna go explore. Now, almost exactly a year ago, while we were walking down the Camino de Santiago in Portugal, we came to a little city that I do not remember the name of off the top of my head.
I think.
But they had a little umbrella festival going on there, where the streets were covered with umbrellas, and this is a nice little reminder of that. It's just a little splash of shade and color right in the middle of the town square. And no Slavic city, no Ukrainian city would be complete without what? That's right, onion domes. I have to go check out the interior of this church here, but I doubt that they'll let us film inside. I might be able to sneak a few pictures though. So here I am in Rivne, and I'm awaiting a call from a drunk Tarzan to tell me where I'm supposed to stay tonight. So while I was recording that, the drunk Tarzan called us, and now we have to go and get the keys from him, which is a little bit weird for an Airbnb, but it was like $21 to stay here, so I'm not ready to start complaining yet, and it's only like a 10-minute walk, and it's still early. We're just doing some sightseeing. We're on this beautiful little ploshad, this little square right here in front of this beautiful opera house, and we're just gonna make the best of it. So we got the key from Tarz as well, from apparently Tarzan's grandma, and we're back on the main square in town. It's the Golden Square, and we've got this huge statue of Taras Shevchenko behind us, the poet, who's got a university named after him in Kiev. And here they just built him a really huge statue and a nice movie theater. But you see we've got the golden onions there, requisite golden onions for every Ukrainian town. This is a pretty large town. I think it's, we looked it up on Wikipedia, it's 250,000 people. And seems like a really nice place. I don't think we are gonna give it enough time to do it justice, but we'll see what we can see.